Welcome to the Leaders Edge. Hello, everybody. This is our weekly live interview show with Georgia Donaldson and I, Emily Chiwa. Hi, Georgia. We feature successful CEOs and professionals who are so kind to share their stories with us. We want to bring awareness, inspiration, and leadership tips for you to action to help you, sharpen your competitive advantage and make a positive impact in your organization and community. Remember, if you are watching us live on LinkedIn, you can comment and we can answer your question right away. So, the well being advantage, that is our topic for today. And you guys know that we like to start it off with some awareness questions. So, when you think about the state of well-being among your employees, say, or in your team, even if you're not the leader of a team. And I asked you to rate, if you were to rank it on a scale of 1 to 10, would you be able to give a fair response on that? Would you be able to give a fair response that actually reflects the well-being of your team members or your organization? And how important will you say your employees' well-being is to you, and what is the relationship between this and your company's performance? So we're going to touch on some of these in a very interesting way. And I'm going to let Georgia now introduce our guest, Leela. So, Georgia, please take it away.
Thank you so much. Good morning. Welcome everyone. Leela, it is so good to have you. It's
Thank you.
wonderful. Yes. And to everyone watching and listening this morning, you're in for a treat because Leela Ramsingh is an accomplished businesswoman and she's an advocate for entrepreneurship and servant leadership in Trinidad and Tobago. And she is the CEO of LSA Healthcare Services, and she has some unique ways about looking and thinking about well being, and that's the well being of our employees and customers. So, we want to start off today by saying, what does your bathroom say about you? That sounds like a weird question that we're asking this morning, right, Emily? What does your bathroom say about you? Why
Yeah.
are we talking about bathrooms? And what does it say about your company? And what does it say about your values? And Leela has lots to share on that. So, Leela, we want us to jump right in. And I want you to share with us now, why do you feel so passionate about well being? And why do you take the angle that you take with this passion that you have?
Good morning, ladies and all listeners who are online. Thank you so much for having me this morning. It's a pleasure to be here and to also get the opportunity to share more what I do. Firstly, I'm the CEO of LSA Healthcare Services Limited, and I've been in the business for the past 21 years with 30 years industry experience. I was trained internationally with regards to hygiene management. Um, Making sure that workplaces are effective and also having the products that they need to enhance workplace washrooms. So I tell myself I'm into commercial hygiene. And when I say commercial hygiene, it goes all the way back into making sure that our employees are comfortable in the workspaces they are. For example, let's say someone is commuting from South this morning to Port and they're spending 3 hours in traffic. Think about that. When you get to work, you want to be able to have a comfortable, shared space to use that you can be comfortable. Because guess what? If my employees or your employees are not comfortable at the workplace, what happens to us? Let's think about that. Let's think about our productivity. Let's think about what can happen to an employee if they don't have the facilities to use. And this is where we need to change the way we think about hygiene. I think that hygiene matters in any sphere. Is it from home to workplaces to schools? And I'll just delve a little bit here. One of my goals is to change the culture of hygiene in Trinidad and Tobago. And I
Love
have been
that.
yes, by education, by going into the schools and teaching the kids how to wash their hands. Simple as that. What to do, what not to do. Stop putting the pen in the mouth. Leave your desk 3 to 4 times a day to go wash your hands. And then people might say, what is wrong to her? Think about it. And if people start practicing those little things, we would not have illnesses in the workplace. We have to think about workplace hygiene as part of performance for our bottom lines. Because when our employees get sick, guess what? Don't we get sick leave?
Yes,
We
yes.
stay home. The thing about it, we don't have the proper facilities, and some employers might think it's a cost. But let's not look beyond the cost. Look at the comfort, the reputation of your brand, the
Mm-hmm.
image of your company, and how you make your staff feel. It's simple like that. And some people look at it and say, well, oh my God, no, they look at the budgets. And when you work it up, the pricing is cents per day,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the size of your organization, to invest in an employee, to be there for your, to who's you are. I have a saying, happy employees equal a happy organization.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So
But
I
Leela, 1 second, Emily, because I was just gonna stop
yeah,
Leela there because Leela,
yeah.
I'm a busy executive. Why am I going to be concerned about bathrooms? I have my own executive bathroom. Why am I going to be concerned about bathroom? Yes, we've provided bathrooms for our employees. What does that
Uh-huh.
have to do with productivity and anything else?
Yeah, well, I
Yes.
would say productivity. As I explained, you're spending 8 to 10 hours or 9 hours at your
Mm-hmm.
workplace. You want to be able to be comfortable to use a
Yes.
shared space. And in a shared space, it means to say that you have the facilities in place. For example, you having sanitary bins, you have the soap
Mm-hmm.
services, you have your air freshers. When your employee walking inside there, he or she must be comfortable. It mustn't be like, oh my gosh, I can't sit here, I can't do this, I can't do that. Now, there's some organization who go all out,
Mm-hmm.
some of them. And from my experience, it comes from the CEOs and the decision makers who care and are passionate about certain things. I found some people who don't have a passion or even think about that. It's in the bottom of the pit, as they say. The last thing they think about. And I'll go to, we have OSHA in Trinidad, we have Ministry of Health. And I've recognized that some of the restaurants and stuff like that, they would take a service, they take a product just because they're getting an inspection. And if the inspection is not happening next year, guess what? We don't need that anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
they need to be policed as well. And I think one of the things that I'm thinking is that companies need to put in a hygiene policy. It's part of inducting your employees, just as how we have the handbook goes back
Mm-hmm.
to HR, it goes back, and you inculcate that sort of value
Mm-hmm.
with your staff. So when they come on board, it's a change for them. What they were not accustomed to, now you're the employer. And it's like, wow, it's as simple as that. And guess what?
So
If you remember Maslow's hierarchy of needs, he
Mm-hmm.
would have
Yes.
talked about workplace conditions.
Mm-hmm.
It's simple theory into practice.
Okay.
so
Emily?
Lena, I wanted to say, yeah, I wanted to interject for a little bit there. So you touch on so many things, right? I mean, of course, happy. I mean, we've all heard that statement, and I think there was some actual evidence, studies done on that. Happy employees making for productivity.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing. I mean, I think in the industries that I would have worked in, I suppose I would have taken some of this for granted because I guess it was always, the standards that I would have had. But I guess when you mentioned schools, yeah, schools probably not the same standard when, going to school would have been different. And then establishments, because yes, because of OSHA, everybody has to have a bathroom available, but you do cringe to go
Yeah.
into some of them. And so I love that question that we started with. What does your bathroom say about you? The care that you have for both your employees and your customers,
Customers, yeah.
because, it really does. I mean, it's like I never thought about it until we had to have this conversation. And
Yes.
I'm hoping that other people are feeling kind of like how I'm feeling too, because, yeah, it's just not something we think about or
Yes.
talk about
Exactly.
very
It's to the
much.
Yes.
bottom, way to the bottom.
Yeah. You,
Yeah.
you, you
Yeah.
know, I had to give this little one. I remember one organization I was in, and there are bathrooms on different floors, and there's a floor where the executives would use the bathroom. And I was in the floor, not for the executives, and I realized that it was less than, the standard that we needed. And one person said to me, "How you know that? What you doing in there?" Yes, because that's not my bathroom. Yes. So how
Mhm.
did I
Well,
know?
that's double standards. I mean,
Can you believe that?
that should not even exist. I mean, if it's like
Yes.
if it is that, I mean, I feel like, well, I mean, Leela is a servant leader, so she's probably appalled. But I mean, I know it exists. I know that it exists, but I think, we should really consider what message that sends.
Mm-hmm.
What
Exactly.
message is
So.
that sending to the employee?
Changing the narratives, I would say, by education, public health management, into
Mm-hmm.
public hygiene management. I mean, I work with international companies through the UK, so I try to set the bar in Trinidad here with the products that I do. It is not just because it is enhancing what you have, making sure that employees feel comfortable and it's good. Guess what? You don't want a employee being sick all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
I mean, we came out of COVID, we came out of a pandemic, thank God, alive and well. But what about those who didn't make it? Let's go back to when that shutdown came. Everybody was in panic mode. They want sanitizers, they want
Yes.
they want dishwashing, I mean, soap, every single thing they want. They want to enhance it, but why not be proactive?
Mm-hmm.
And maintain that. Therefore, you're not in a rush. And it happened back in 2008 when we had the black flu. It's the same thing happen. It's like, wow, why does companies like us have to wait until something happens? Why can't we be
Yes.
proactive for the well-being of our employees and our customers?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
But Leela, you mentioned something else. You mentioned getting up from your desk from time to time and stretching and walking. And I'm
Yes.
a busy executive and I'm concerned about productivity. And I'm seeing Leela walking around, stretching. And I'm saying that Leela is wasting my time. Talk to us about how we get CEOs to think about that differently.
That is another part of where you stretch your legs. I mean, sitting too long is not good. Sometimes you wear your little watch and it will tell
Mm-hmm.
you, hey, time to get up. You take that break. I'm not telling someone to go 15 minutes in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Pick up yourself, you go get your coffee or go wash your hands and come back. Mentally, it works you. You can't be sitting like this in the entire day because some
Mm-hmm.
people don't even have correct workstations.
Yes.
Nobody's thinking. Not every organization think. There are few who invest
Mm-hmm.
in the correct chairs, etc. Posture is important. That is why we have people who have neck problems. Okay, they
Mm-hmm.
like this. Proper seating. The way they get up, they walk, they take a little stretch.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yes.
it's important to do that. And the end of the day, you feel good. So you can come back to work tomorrow happy.
Mm-hmm.
Happy employees equal happy organizations. Always remember that. So I don't think it's about wasting time. They just make a loop and come back.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you have some organization who may have an hour lunch. Why not break it up and give them a tea break, uh, maybe a shorter lunch period and another tea break. Make it three
Mm-hmm.
times a day. So these way employees are comfortable. And these
Right.
are strategies you could add to make your employee feel happy. Maybe your HR manager can ask, what would you prefer? Do you prefer this or that? Let's work together.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You
And
know,
sometimes when you think of your general space, a plant in your space can make a world of a difference.
of course,
Yeah,
of course.
because
There's
well-being,
a,
you're spending so many hours there. Some people
yeah,
get to work, they're there from 7, and some
mhm,
unfortunately don't leave before 6. So they're
correct.
spending so many hours in that organization.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
there's these green plants that
Mm-hmm.
can be added to the environment because the AC, and that is what is happening now because of the AC. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
them are, if one person is sick, you hear three, four of them washing
Yes.
your hands, cleaning your. I mean, yes, some companies will have people to come and clean the desk, but to me, as a individual, you make it your business to just wipe the surface,
Mm-hmm.
make sure it's clean, tidy. Another thing that is also not is, yes, workplace hygiene, the clutter that
Mm-hmm.
people have on your desk. And I think if
Yes.
people start doing like standards, don't put things on the floor, put it this way, off the floor. There's so many things you have to think about. Don't put that files on the floor. You can trip
Mm-hmm. Those are
easy.
hazards. Yes.
Yeah.
A
Yeah,
lot of
but
workplace,
Leela and Emily, if you don't have 10 files on your desk, you're not busy. You have no work to
Well,
do.
I don't know
Let's
about
talk
that,
about
but
that, Emily.
I think it's sometimes putting away stuff. I mean, I have a problem with that. So my desk tends to be a little bit cluttered at times,
Yes.
but it's cluttered organized.
Yeah.
I know
But it's
it's
a
Yeah,
mindset. It's a
cluttered,
mindset and a mentality. Yes.
yeah.
Because you see
but I
people's
think,
desks and it's not
yeah.
cluttered, it's not there with several files, so they have no work to do.
No, and
Well,
I
I
think,
mean, impression is a weird thing. I mean, so I guess
Yes.
it really depends again on what we think is going on people's desks,
Mm-hmm.
and I
correct.
think it's always easier. I think for most of us to feel like we are busy and everybody else is like twiddling their thumbs.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's somehow we all fall jump to those conclusions. So
Yes.
it's about asking questions, checking to see, having proper measures too. We talked about that in previous shows. Having proper
Mm-hmm.
measures about what productivity
Mhm.
means. So like how
Right.
many of X we supposed to do in a given day or a given hour or whatever. So we kind of know how people are doing and if the jobs are actually getting done. Proper ways to measure productivity as versus pretend ways of measure busy work ways of
Yes.
measure
Yes.
The
really
KPI, the KPIs help with that.
Yeah.
KPIs help
Yes.
with that.
Yes.
And I remember when we were talking, you also mentioned, and it's coming back to the hygiene thing, about branding with scent. And I
Oh
think we talked
yes,
about
yes.
hotels that have
And,
a certain aroma. So
mhm.
you associate the comfort or the smell or whatever that smell, whatever
Yeah,
sensory experience people have with that smell with a company. So, that's also something I remember you mentioned. So, I mean, even from a branding perspective,
of
you know,
course. Yeah,
it comes back
like
to what is your bathroom, what is the hygiene, what is the look and
what
feel
and what it speaks
feel
about.
say about you. Yeah.
Exactly. And for example, one of the hotels that is a global brand, I don't want to call people brand, but the thing about it, everywhere you go, the one right here in Port of Spain, and you go to Florida and you go to Paris, is the same scenting that they use. And because I'm very aware of how these things work, I will be drawn to it. Some people may not even bother. I will walk and we go and find, oh, this is where they have the scenting. I mean, regular people who are not in the industry wouldn't do it. But because
Yeah.
I'm in the industry and I'm knowledgeable, I'll go, oh, this is what they're using. And one sent across, which says your branding. It happens
Mm-hmm.
here with certain clients in Trinidad. They're
I
putting in
think it does.
different floors. Yeah,
I
different
think
floors.
it does. So
Yeah.
I really want people to, after hearing this conversation, to have that sort of heightened awareness about bathrooms, hygiene,
Mm-hmm.
and think about companies that are probably doing it well locally,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
think about ones who might need some improvement, and
Mm-hmm.
think about your own, and
Yes.
if it is that you are in a position to influence some change there, um, then by all means think about doing that.
That's so true. That's so
Why
true.
not,
Exactly.
so
Yeah. And in the same way, sometimes you're going to an organization and you start thinking, where am I going to park? You may start thinking, wow, what does that organization look like and smell like?
Correct. I like
Yes.
that. Yes, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Yeah, it's all about ensuring the human resources, which is both our employees and also our customers are taken
Mm-hmm.
care of in terms of the hour that they spend by you. If they come to dine, you make
Mm-hmm.
sure that they're going to recommend, hey, go by X. They have this, they have that. Wow. And you blow your customers mind the way that they come in and they feel happy to come to spend their monies,
Yes.
your employees to improve their productivity because, hey, I am doing this for you.
Right.
Care about you. I care about your well-being. The way we do things here is different to other organizations. And I would
Yes.
love to see hygiene policies coming into like part of the compliance, like when people have their workbook or their handbook or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So therefore you set the standard for this new employee who's been inducted.
Right.
This is what we're about. So even if you have bad habits some other places, no, this is
Mm-hmm.
what we and you try to change the culture of each
Mm-hmm.
person like that.
I
And
like that one, Leela. I like that.
the schools, it's a mess, but we are
Mm-hmm.
working. It's a work in progress, and I believe we
Mm-hmm.
can change society by investing in the kids.
Yes, start
Yeah,
there. We have to start
yes,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that is what we've been
Great.
doing for a number of years now as part of our community give back.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the schools and do our education programs with them, from washing
Wonderful.
hands, the sanitary bins, how to dispose sanitary products, waste sanitary.
Mm-hmm.
Because guess what? There's some adults who don't even know.
Yes.
Yeah, we create videos and we send it to them.
Very good.
We
Very
send it
good.
to the HR department, and that HR department will disseminate it to the entire team. That
Okay.
is how we do.
Great.
Yeah, we do all those little things to help the client.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Wonderful.
So, Emily,
So,
as we start to
yes,
close out, I'm
yes,
thinking if there's a leader watching now, or you're going to be catching this on the replay, when was the last time you checked in on your employee bathrooms? When was the last time you looked at the general surroundings? Talking about the clutter, declutter. When was the last time you genuinely cared about the well being of your employees and said to them, when was the last time you walked, you stretched? These things are so important to the
Yes.
well-being of the organization, and you're going to reap the benefits in the level of productivity. So, Emily, over to you to close.
well, I just want to say thank you, Leela. It's been a pleasure having to spend some time thinking about what we don't think about
Yes.
this morning on a Monday.
Yes.
And these invisible things that we don't often think about, recognizing too how important subliminal and actual messages that are being sent through the way we treat with things like hygiene, with like the bathrooms, like the way and the look and feel of your space.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So recognize that that impacts your brand as well. It impacts your brand. It impacts what the impression that people get. It's the first impression that people have, or maybe the second one. Yeah, outside might be looking good, but when they go to the bathroom, they're like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to eat there.
I'm not sure that I want to eat here anymore. Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
So so this has been a really good talk. Thank you for highlighting such an important aspect, as I said, that we don't often think about, and the nuggets that you shared here this morning. And
Okay.
so you all have a wonderful day.
Was a
And
pleasure having you, Leela.
Thank
yes,
you all for the opportunity, and I hope I touch a few people and they understand why hygiene is important to workplaces and to their businesses in the long run. So
yes,
thank you again for the opportunity to share.
yeah, I think we definitely have touched on some of those, and yeah, for people who listened, they should definitely get that and think about having happier employees and what that will
Mm-hmm.
do to your
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
bottom line.
Mhm.
Good.
All right, take
Thank
Take
care
you.
care.
now.
Have a great
Thank you
week.
all. Have a great day and a good week ahead.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.